Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning, 1 a.m. in London and 9 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Talk Back Live for this Thursday. My name is Frank Allan. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We're here every Thursday at this time for one full hour. We integrate with great people and great conversation. We put it all together, and that means you. And if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, we would love you to do that. All you have to do is just type in. I'll see you right there on the big screen. I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas and your questions. And if you want to talk about the show or anything at all, this is open and free exchange. Thank you so much for being along with us. Now, we come here every Thursday as usual. That's the purpose of the whole show. And we thank you so much for that. But it's one of those days where we are here. And we want to thank you for being along with us. We've got so much to talk about. We have so much to talk about because we've got a little feedback too, I see, and we're going to fix that right away. And there it is. It happens once in a while. It happens once in a while. But anyway, we're glad that you're here and remain here. Whatever time you could spend with us, that would be great. That would be great. Whatever time you could spend with us could be great. If you could spend the full hour, which we hope you can, we would love to have you aboard with us. If you could only spend just a few more minutes or whatever it is, we would appreciate that too. Whatever time you could spare with us. And you could be doing anything right now. And depending on what time it is in your area, you could be at work. It could be morning, right? Like in London and over in Tokyo, right? They're ready. Well, it's like kind of like overnight in London, but in Tokyo, everybody's starting their jobs and you could be on your computer. And if you are on your computer, you're getting that coffee break, take the coffee break, but by all means, take it at your desk and stay with us. And then you can multitask after the coffee break is over. So keep the coffee break at your desk. Some of you may be at lunch or maybe headed to lunch, or some of you may be headed home after the end of the day. And then some may be getting ready to go to bed. But before you go to bed, stay with us. And we've got so many things coming along. For instance, Brian Camp will be here in just a few. He'll be here just a few. And he's got the latest developments in today's world of sports. This time around, he's coming out of New York City. He decided he was going to come out here. He was out here in New York City, and he'll be here up until Saturday. So he's going to report at another location in New York City. I believe he might be in Long Island, but we'll find that out. But anyway, nevertheless, he has sports for us, and we can't wait to see him, and we'll get around to all of that. Later on, also in the program, we have all of those great movies that you love from Turner Classic Movies, those classic black and white films that you like so much. We have a few of those. Those are my pick for the week, for the weekend. And those of you who are getting ready to set for the weekend, that's something I just want to add to your bucket list for the weekend. We also have this day in history that's coming along too. And of course, we're going to make sure that everything is all set. So here we are, set and ready to go. Yes, indeed, it's been an interesting day. It's been a long day today. A long, long day. For me here in New York anyway, it's been a long day. Would you believe that when I started my day this morning, it was around 9 o'clock when I walked out the door, and I was out all day. And the reason for that was the weather was so beautiful. We finally reached the highest temperatures starting this season, the highest temperatures. We went up to 83 degrees today. And when I started my day, when I walked out the door, it was like 66 degrees. I said, oh, this is going to be great. The sun was out, not a cloud in the sky. You could actually feel that sun on your back. If you're sitting outside, you can feel the sun on your back. And I said, this is really great. A lot of people don't like that kind of weather, but it was great for me. And I'm pretty sure people in New York, if you were in New York, you live here in New York and you were out there today, you were working, I'm pretty sure your day was different come lunchtime. And I'm pretty sure instead of, buying your lunch and then taking it back to the office, or sitting in the restaurant indoors. You were probably sitting outdoors. Some people saw the outdoor cafes, they participated in that, or some people just sat in the park eating their sandwich or whatever. It was one of those days. But if you look outside, you're in New York right now, right? If you're in New York right now, if you look outside, you would never believe that we had such a great day today. Now, it's kind of dry, it's kind of tapering off now, but before we got on the air, it was pouring down rain. It was coming down in buckets. You know, it was dropping from the sky, coming from the east, coming from the west, the south, the north, even coming up out of the street. It was really wet out there, and you wouldn't believe it. But it was great weather out there. I really enjoyed it. And those of you who are living in New York City, I hope that you took good advantage of it. And this particular day, I took total advantage of, because that was one of the days where I was able to say, hey, you know what? Since it's going to be a great day today, I'm going to go out there in the elements and soak up the sunshine, at the same time get things that I had on my bucket list or on my to-do list, you know, get things going. And this way, by the time the weekend comes around, I won't have to worry about things, you know, because I don't like doing anything on the weekends except doing what I want to do. You know, that's what the weekend's all about, right? Not everyone gets that luxury. You know, some people have to work on the weekends, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. The world turns and we have to keep things going. And so that's about it. But yeah, so that was the day today. And this is the last part of my day where we are right now. So after this show is over, then I could take a breather for a while before I come back here in the morning. But thank God everything is fine and that weather is great. I would hope there's a repeat performance. I don't think it will be. I think the highest we're going to go in New York tomorrow is around 60 degrees, but you never know. Mother Nature has a tendency of throwing curveballs, and we look for one thing and then the weather, you know, shapes up to be something else. But we'll see tomorrow when we come back in the morning. But in case you're just joining us this very minute, again, I want to repeat myself. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan, and we're going to be here up until the top of the hour. We're here always, every week, just for a whole full hour and of conversation. And again, if you guys like to chime in the conversation, please do. And we'll be happy to talk to you. I want to say hello to all of you people who are watching us in 3 of our entities. We're live right now. We're live on YouTube and on Instagram. Usually we're live on Facebook, but that's not the case. But I can tell you, we'll be back on Facebook Live in 3 weeks. We're what we're calling Facebook jail right now. And I don't want to keep repeating the story because it's kind of like old now, but we'll be back in 3 weeks. 3 weeks from tonight, we'll be back here with Talk Back Live. And then of course, again, the following day on the 6th on the coffee hour. So I can't wait for that to happen. And so many other things. So, but in the meantime, we're broadcasting live on YouTube and Instagram. So I want to say hi to all of you guys who are watching us right now. Pass it along to your friends. And if you're going on YouTube, or if you're already on YouTube and watching us, why don't you take the time right now as you watch and subscribe to my YouTube channel? Be part of the family, be part of the show, and don't miss the show. And tell all your friends about it. We're here every Thursday between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. That's Eastern. Everything here is Eastern. So all you have to do is check your time zone and your clocks to make sure that you're on one accord. For instance, if you're on the West Coast, you know, of course, you know, you're like 3 hours behind us. And so that means when we come on the air at 8 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock where you are. Out in Texas, like you're 2 hours behind us, and so forth and so on. You know the whole routine, right? You know the whole routine. Well, thank you once again for being with us, and I want to take time to, of course, talk about the people from Ukraine. I want to say a little prayer for them. You already know the score over there. We're like 7 weeks into this war. It's about 7 weeks, right? We're 7 weeks into this war, and it's the war between Ukraine and Russia. And of course, you know, Russia's doing some heavy damage. I don't think they're as listen, let me put it this way. When you're at war, it's no good for anyone. Thousands and thousands of people were killed, buildings shot down, people in the streets, people dead in the streets. It's just like they're rolling by these people who are dead in the street like it's a regular Sunday afternoon on the street, and they're rolling by, and little babies and boys and girls and women and men. And of course, the men, they want to protect their families. So what they do is they try to make sure everybody escape from their family. If they can get a train across the border to take them out of here or take them out of there, they do that. And they send their wives and their children to family and friends across the border. And in some cases, the women come back, they return to the Ukraine to be with their husbands so they can continue to fight. But it's a long fight, and who knows how long it's going to go on. Who knows how long it's going to go on. This news is so depressing. It kind of like weans me away from even watching the news. Lately, I haven't been, like focused on the news that much. I figure by the end of the day, I know just as much as anyone else does, because, when news come out, it has a tendency, you could see it right there on the internet. Every time you go on the internet, there's news right there. And plus I have pop-up news that comes on my telephone, when news occur, and I can always read that, like breaking news and things like that. So you get that notification that comes up. And so that's how I learn. But to sit there in front of the TV and watch it, I haven't been doing much of that lately. A little bit, but not as much lately, because the news is so depressing and news fires all over the place. And so, there you go. So my love goes out to Ukraine. Do you know the comedian Gilbert Gottfried, right? I just learned this morning as I started my day. Gilbert Gottfried passed away. Comedian Gilbert Gottfried passed away from a long illness. I didn't know he was ill. He was at the age of 67 when he passed away. They didn't go into detail on what the illness was about or what it was. I'm pretty sure that will surface at some point, before the week is over. But that was the news that we got this morning when we woke up. It was Gilbert Gottfried, and he, you know who he is, right? He has that voice, that voice and the squinty eyes. Funny comedian, passed away at the age of 67. So we want to say all our condolences out to his family, his friends, his co-workers, people who work with him, people who be around him, and everybody else who knew Gilbert Gottfried. We just want to say our condolences out to the family and such. So there you go. Okay, we're moving along right now. It's now coming up to, it's 13 minutes past the hour right now, right here on Talkback Live, and we're still here. We're still here. And as I said, not too far away, Brian Camp will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports. He's coming out of New York. He won't be in Charlotte, but he came to New York, and we got to find out what he did today, because I'm pretty sure he took the weather today at his advantage. I don't know what it was like. The temperatures were out in Charlotte at that particular point, but boy, it was hot today. It was really warm. I mean, not scorching hot, but in the 80s, 83 degrees. It was nice and warm. And people were walking out, people in their sleeves. Now, yesterday was pretty nice as well, but not nice enough to actually say, something, I'm going to take off my heavier jacket. You don't want to let the weather fool you, because it has a tendency to say, I got you, and catch cold that way. The weather is so changeable, and as I said earlier, as high as we got with the temperatures today, it's going to go down a little more tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be back down in the 60s once again. But yesterday, I still wore my heavier jacket yesterday, but today I said, wearing that heavier jacket is not going to cut it. That's going to be too much, and I don't want to go there with that. So I wore a lighter jacket, just to keep things going, because you want to lightly shred, but people were coming out with their short sleeves, and it was that warm. It really was that warm. But I personally don't want to take that kind of a chance on fooling with the weather that way. Because like I said, tomorrow is going to go, the temperatures are going to go lower. And who needs that? Who needs that? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. I want to say hello again to some of the people over here right now. Hello, all of the people, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all of those places that are watching us. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and thank you so much for being here. It's now 15 minutes past the hour, and of course, we've got Brian Camp coming along, and we've got great sport news. I'm pretty sure he has a lot of sports news. This time he's coming out of New York City. He's staying here up until Saturday. So Brian Camp, right now, here he is with the latest developments in today's world of sports. How are you enjoying New York so far? Did you like the weather today?
Yeah, it got a little rainy towards not too long ago, but yeah, I like it. You know, New York is strange with this weather and everything. Yeah. I'm just trying to recuperate from these little sore back injuries that I have hit the potholes in the great New York City, but it's okay. This is New York City. Yeah. Without potholes, it's not New York City.
I didn't put them there, by the way.
I know, but it's great to be back home. It's always great to be back home, and just visiting you early this week and meet other family members and friends. Yeah. It was great. But it's 62 degrees out here in Brooklyn, New York, and it was warm today. It was close to 80 degrees. It was 70, 75 degrees. It was great today.
83 degrees.
83 degrees. Yeah. I should have brought my shorts from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I didn't want to take any chances and everything. But you know, it's great. Good evening to you, to everybody out there who's tuning in. Let me get the sports right. Major League Baseball, Cuban state sports officials denounced a plan by baseball players who left the island to play in the major leagues to field their own team in next World Baseball Classic. Every winter they have a baseball classic where they have teams from different parts of the Caribbean islands and different countries. The president of the Cuban Baseball Federation, Juan Ronaldo Perez, called a news conference and accused the group of trying to observe Cuba's representation in the international competition. A group called Association of Cuban Professional Baseball Players announced that they hope to form a team to compete in the Classic, which is scheduled for 2023. However, Major League Baseball says the group will have to win approval from the World Baseball Softball Confederation in order to participate. And Cuba's official baseball federation is a member of that group as well. Retired longtime LA Dodgers, Brooklyn/LA Dodger announcer Vince Scully wins the Baseball Digest Lifetime Achievement Award. The 94-year-old Vince Scully retired after the 2016 season, ending a 67-year broadcasting career. Wow, imagine broadcasting for 67 years. And that stretch back in when the Dodgers played in Brooklyn, as I said, before moving to LA, they said by far is the easiest longevity tenure of any announcer with one team. That's amazing. Congratulations to him. Willie Mays won that award last year with the same award. Speaking about Willie Mays and the San Francisco Giants, Leisha Naka makes Major League Baseball history as the first woman to coach on a field in a regular season game as Giants coach. Anton Richardson was ejected from the game, the third inning 2 nights ago. So yes, we had a female lady who was coached due to ejection by the regular third baseman coach, and she made history by being on the field and coaching, and she did a wonderful job according to what the manager of the San Francisco Giants and other people said. So congratulations to her. In football, for the second time, This is a little touchy here, so I'm going to have to read this very slowly. For the second time in National Football League career, Cam Newton is being scrutinized on social media for making a sexist comment regarding women. Newton complained about women who, these are his words now, can cook and don't know when to beg is handling is or just to be quiet. I'm sorry. Cam continues saying, now a woman for me, that's for him, he says, is to handle your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs. Then he says, right? Then he goes on. And I think a lot of times when you get that as aesthetic or like, I'm a boss bitch. Yes, he used the word boss bitch. I'm this, I'm that. No, baby. But you can't cook. You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead. So he says back in 2016 to something like this, got in a lot of trouble. He has yet to be picked up by a team to play in the upcoming season for football. So, you know, he has something against women, and doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for him. For a man that's trying to get back into football, he played a few games, did not win a game for his team this year. So, you know, he has issues with women. You women out there listening, not all men are like that. So just don't take it personal. Ohio State is to honor the legacy of the late quarterback Dwayne Haskins at spring game Saturday, this coming Saturday. Haskins, 24 years old, died last Saturday morning after being struck by a dump truck while walking on a South Florida highway. He had been training in the area with other Pittsburgh Steelers players. So unfortunately, he had an unfortunate death that happened. Highway, we don't know. This day, April 14th, 1910, President William Howard Taft begins tradition of throwing out the first pitch of opening day of a baseball season. Every year, a U.S. president throws out the first ball of opening day. Doesn't matter where, but it's usually around in the D.C. area where the president is at. Or if the president is out of town, wherever the nearest state is at, or city or state, that's where they will tend to throw out the first ball. 1925's first regular season Chicago Cubs game broadcast on radio WGN by announcer Quinn Ryan. 1955, 26-year-old catcher, center fielder, outfielder Elston Howard became the first African-American to play for the New York Yankees. I wasn't born there, but he is the first. I got a picture on my wall of Elston Howard in a Yankee uniform. 1968, the first NBA game of the new iconic Madison Square Garden. That's when Madison Square Garden was renovated and is what you see now. Madison Square Garden, that's the epic of all arenas. 1969, the first regular season Major League Baseball game played outside the U.S., the Montreal Expos. Yes, they played their first game, and they was in 1969. Birthdays today, 1941, Pete Rose, Major League Baseball player, manager, born in Cincinnati, Ohio. 1963, WNBA player Cynthia Cooper Dyke, born in Chicago, Illinois. 1966, Major League Baseball and former husband of Halle Berry, David Justice, was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. And in 1966, Greg Maddux, Hall of Famer, four-time Cy Young Award winner, was born in San Angelo, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
I just can't believe in this day and age how men could have a problem with women that way. Does this guy realize that we are in the 21st century? Does he realize that? Okay, Brian is freeze. I think we kind of lost his signal there. Lost the signal. Okay, Brian lost his signal. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. Uh, you're freezing a little bit, but I guess you're en route somewhere, probably losing signal. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can barely hear me.
Yeah, okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. And you sound a little tinny. I don't know where you're en route to someplace, right?
Well, I'm in the car, but I have my earplugs on.
All right, okay, because I mean, you're coming through, but you're sounding a little more tinny now. Anyway, I was just wondering, I think we're losing your signal. We're losing your signal. Brian, we're going to catch you tomorrow morning because you're coming in and out. We're going to catch you tomorrow morning, all right, on the coffee hour. How's that? Okay. Okay, we're going to catch him tomorrow morning.
Okay. And
we're going to catch him tomorrow morning on the coffee hour. He's en route somewhere, and you know, when you're en route somewhere like that, you start to lose signal. And so, yeah, but I was just wondering, I mean, he read that article about the football player who just have a problem with women and doing the old things that they did back then, making women out of slaves and saying, getting my meal. Does anybody realize that we are in the 21st century? Does everybody know that? We are in the 21st century. I don't know. I don't know. His wife ought to beat the hell out of him. That's what she ought to do. That's what she needs to do. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, we're here at the coffee hour. Not the coffee hour, that's tomorrow morning. We have to talk back live. My name is Frank Allen, and we are with you up until the top of the hour. And just in case you're just joining us, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Instagram, and of course, we're not live on Facebook, which we usually are. And we will be back. I just want you guys to know that you guys who watch us on Facebook, we will be back come 3 weeks from tonight. Now, this show, when it's almost over, and it's almost over in about a little over a half hour from now, when the show is over, soon after that, we are going to post this very show on Facebook. For those of you who never got a chance to see us live, streaming live, and you're not here on the side of YouTube or Instagram, of course, we'll post it for the convenience of the people who didn't get around to see us live. And that'll be shortly after this show is over. Okay, so I hope you look forward to that. You know, check out the show. It'll be right there, and you won't miss a thing, because everything we're talking about not live is going to be related to you. Nothing tweaked or anything. It's going to be there. Anyway, folks, thank you for being along with us, and we really appreciate that. And now, as always, it's time. It's that time. Here we are. It's that time. This day in history. And starting in 1841, the first detective story published by Edgar Allan Poe called Murders in Rue Montrouge. And on this day in history in 1858, abolitionist John Brown meets Harriet Tubman at a constitutional convention in Chatham, Ontario. On this day in history in 1860, the first Pony Express rider arrives in San Francisco from South Joseph, Missouri. On this day in history in 1865, US President Abraham Lincoln is shot in the head by John Wilkes Booth at the Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. He dies a day later. On this day in history, in 1902, J.C. Penney opens his first store, the Golden Rule store in Cameron, Wyoming. On this day in history, in 1940, RCA demonstrated its new electron microphone in Philadelphia. On this day in history, in 1948, New York City subway fares jumped from 5 to 10 cents. On this day in history in 1961, Cuban-American Invasion Army departs from Nicaragua. On this day in history in 1969, Student Afro-American Society seized at Columbia College. Back in 1971, and I just want to make this perfectly clear, that President Richard Nixon ends blockade against People's Republic of China. And also in 1971, on this day in history, the Supreme Court upheld busing as means of achieving racial desegregation. On this day in history, 1973, acting FBI Director L. Patrick Gray resigns after admitting he destroyed evidence in the Watergate scandal. Back in 1978, WRRAM, a radio station in Dallas, Texas, changes its call letters to KAAM. Back in 1983, US President Ronald Reagan signs $165 billion Social Security rescue. On this day in history, in 1986, Desmond Tutu elected Archbishop of Cape Town. In 1994, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis was operated on for a bleeding ulcer. And 2020, I should say, former President Barack Obama endorses former Vice President Joe Biden for president. On this day, actor Rod Steiger was born in 1925 in West Hampton, New York. He died July 9th, 2002. And he was at the age of 77. He died from pneumonia. And of course, happy birthday to Loretta Lynn, country singer Loretta Lynn, born on this day in 1932. And she was born in Butcher Hollow, Kentucky. She's 90 years old today. Frank Serpico, 1936, was born on this day, an American police officer who blew the whistle on NYPD corruption. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, so you know I'm very partial to him. And thank you so much for your service, Mr. Serpico. And actress Julie Christie was born on this day, 1941, in Chabua, Assam, India. She's 81 today. Actor Brad Garrett, who played in, of course, Everybody Loves Raymond. Remember him? You know, that's the guy that talks like this. Yeah. He was born on this day in 1960 in Los Angeles, California. Happy birthday, Brad. He's 62 today. Actor Robert Carlyle was born on this day in 1961 from Glasgow, Scotland. He's 61 today. Actress Sarah Michelle Gellar was born on this day in 1977 in New York City. She's 45 today. Actor, the legendary Frederick March, he died on this day in 1975 at the age of 77 years old from prostate cancer. He was born August 31st, 1897 in Racine, Wisconsin. In 1995, actor-singer Burl Ives passed away from complications of mouth cancer, and he died at the age of 85. In 2007, Don Ho, Hawaiian-American pop and Hawaiian music singer, he dies of heart failure back in he died at the age of 76. In 2015, R&B singer Percy Sledge dies at the age of 73. 1959, I'll change that, check that, 1956. Actress Vera Miles weds actor Gordon Scott. 1976, the Washington Post reporter Carl Bernstein weds writer and director Nora Ephron at a civil ceremony in Manhattan. In 1976, Doris Day weds restaurant owner Barry Condon. In 2007, Rocky, the Rocky film series, actor Carl Weathers, that's his name, Carl Weathers. He was Apollo, right? Carl Weathers, he got married to award-winning producer Jennifer Peterson on the Seaside Wedding in Mexico. In 1994, Billy Joel and supermodel Christy Brinkley announced plans to divorce, and that's this day in history. And if you know of anything that's happening in this day in history, and then we didn't talk about it, and you know something about it, and even religiously know something about it by heart, let us know, and we will be glad to put it on the air and recite it for you right here. So there you go. And I want to say hello to all of you who are watching right now, watching us live on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you so much for being with us. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live. I'm Frank Allen, and we are here. We've got 25 more minutes to go, coming up to 25 more minutes before the show is over. Time goes fast when you're having a lot of fun. It really does. And I have so much fun. And I always appreciate you guys being along with us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I pride my city. I live here, and I've been living here for many years, born and raised here in New York City. To be blunt, Brooklyn. But I lived in the city for the past 26 years or so. And 26, yeah, about 26 years. But I always pride myself being a Brooklynite, proud Brooklyn boy, you know. And I've seen a lot in this city. I've seen a lot. Believe me when I tell you, I've seen a lot in this city. However, I have never seen or witnessed anything that we witnessed this week. You already heard about it. And of course, I'm pretty sure this whole thing went global. And if you haven't seen the footage, you could always go on YouTube and find it, where you can find everything else. You heard about the subway shooting, the massive subway shooting this week, a couple of days ago. And that happened, a young man by the name of, he's 62 years old. So yeah, we can call him young, 62 years old. I don't know what he was thinking, what his mental capacity was at 62 years old, but Frank James, a man wanted, who, by the way, they apprehended just yesterday, as a matter of fact, a mass shooting at a New York City subway station, and reportedly he's in custody now. And what happened, you've seen it time and time again, he threw a smoke bomb in the car. People in the car now. I've never seen anything like this. Never even heard of anything like this in all my years. And I've thought I've seen it all and done it all. But he threw a smoke bomb in the car. And then after throwing the smoke bomb in the car, everything is cloudy. So everybody that's in that car, they can't see anything. And then he opens fire, shooting people. The good news is no fatalities. No one passed away. No one died. We had a couple of people who were in the hospital, 2 people in the hospital right now, had injuries, but they were able to leave the hospitals. They were admitted to hospitals, but they were able to walk out. So everyone lives. That's the good news, you know, but who in their right mind would do something like that? You know, I mean, I've seen, you know, a lot of things, and it's no doubt. I mean, I market this town as the greatest city in the world, and I still stick by that because we got a few bad eggs. You know, that doesn't make this town any less different or less safe from any other town. But you know, again, I've yet to see anything like this happen before, and I've lived a long time. I thought I've seen it all and done it all. And it's people are not riding the subways. I think ridership might have gone down a little bit. I'm pretty sure, I'm confident that things will pick back up again. They'll pick back up again. Things will happen, and things do happen. But, you know, in the midst of all of this, between the shooting in the subway, and we have our mayor who's in quarantine now because he was diagnosed with COVID. Of course, the job still gets done because there's always the deputy mayor, and he gives out the information. He still work from home or wherever he's being in quarantine. But all of this is going on while the mayor is in quarantine, and they finally caught him. And of course, he was in court today. And, you know, there's a possibility that he could spend life in jail, life in prison, which, you know, as he should be, you know, for all of those lives, all of those potential lives that could have been lost, Thank God, everybody is safe. I mean, people, there are a couple of people, 2 people are in the hospital still, but they're expected to recover nicely. And some people who were admitted to the hospital, they managed to walk out the same day. You know, some got injured because people were trampling on everybody. But the good thing, a lot of people were helping each other escape out of the deep of the subway. And some people, you know, were admitted to the hospital for, you know, inhaling all of that smoke, you know. But they say that this situation was premeditated. So he had planned it out. He had planned it all out. And we got to make sure that this doesn't happen again, not just in New York City, but any place where you have underground transportation. And, you know, the buses and the subways are supposed to be one of the safest ways to travel in New York City. You know, I'm not so sure about it right now at this particular point, because people are waking up, they woke up the following day saying, you know, I don't think I'm going to take the subway. People who normally travel from one borough to the other, you know, they have to cross the bridge, and that takes the subway to do that. Or if you're lucky enough to have a car of your own, you can drive over. Or if you have the money, enough money to hike a cab to go over. Or there were a lot of people taking the express bus. Well, we have the express buses that can bridge you over from, let's say, Manhattan to Brooklyn to Queens and other parts of the 5 boroughs without jumping on the subway. Cost a little more, but people are using those factors or using those alternatives to get around rather than taking the subway. Not that they're not going to ever take the subway again. I don't think I will swear up taking the subway, but I got to admit to you, I haven't taken it for a long time. But crime is high here in New York as far as the subway goes. And you know something, it's the reason why it's not as safe as it was, because everything is underground now and you're a captive audience. Underground, you're a captive audience. And there's no place to go when these things happen. Luckily, the doors opened, the conductor opened the doors, and everyone was able to escape. Everyone. And as I said, some people were fighting to get out of there. Everybody was fighting for their dear lives to get out, you know. And I've seen on the footage people helping other people to escape. And I'm pretty sure, you know, I don't think no children, you know, were on that train headed to school at that particular point. I don't think. But gotta watch it. Frank James, he was apprehended. Now, didn't Jesse James have a brother named Frank James? Right? Jesse James, the old cowboy, way back when in the 1800s, he had a brother, Jesse James. He had a brother named Frank James. Is this history repeating itself? I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live once again. And those of you who are watching us, we thank you so much for being with us. We want to also remind you that you could always subscribe to my YouTube channel. You're watching us live, just subscribe. You can do it right now. It's right there. And all you have to do is just click on, and you see subscribe, and you click on there, and you will be right there. You will be right there. As a matter of fact, there's a place on that page. It should be a place on that page right now where you can subscribe. They have a place on the page while you're watching us live where you subscribe. I'm not sure exactly where it is on the page, but you can find it. If not, you can go back at the end of the show, and when you watch the rebroadcast, there's a little picture at the bottom of me. A little tiny little picture right there. All you have to do is highlight that, and it'll say subscribe, and that'll happen. But please do subscribe to my YouTube channel because we want to get everyone involved here. We want you to be part of our show because every time we come on, we're either here on Talk Back Live or the Coffee Hour, and you could be involved with that. And as you already know, again, as I mentioned before, we're not broadcasting live at this particular moment on Facebook because we're what we call in Facebook jail. So our time is coming up. Our time is coming up. 3 weeks from tonight, we'll be back live on Facebook. And of course, we want to get our audience back. People who normally watch us on Facebook and don't travel from Facebook to YouTube or Instagram or whatever. We want to get those people back, but we try to coach you over here. You know, during the day, the day before, the earlier part of the day, we post an ad each week to let you know that, oh, we're going to be on tonight, and we also put up the link So you can go directly to that link and you can find us right here on YouTube. So again, thank you so much for being along with us, and we're having a great day. I see more people coming in, so I just want to wave to you guys, say hi, and thank you for your patronage, and thank you for being along with us. It's a great day. Well, what do you know? What do you know? Would you believe it? This week, we're in the midst of Holy Week, right? We're in the midst of Holy Week. And let's see, this past Sunday was Palm Sunday. So those of you who didn't go to church, you didn't get your palms, you like to collect your palms each Palm Sunday. So this past Sunday was Palm Sunday. And during this week, we are also celebrating or acknowledging Ramadan, you know, for Muslim faith, Ramadan. And they're taking the time out to fast for this week. So Ramadan, we're acknowledging that. Tomorrow is Friday, so that makes it Good Friday. Good Friday, we've got Good Friday coming up. That's tomorrow. And the following day, on Saturday, begins the first day of Passover. Got that going too. That's part of Holy Week as well. And then you have Easter Sunday. That's coming up this Sunday, Easter Sunday. So we're in the midst of Holy Week. So however you worship, and I hope I covered everything. So I just want to cover everything. So I just want to just say you had a happy Palm Sunday. I hope you did. Happy Ramadan to all of you. I want to say happy Good Friday, which is tomorrow. I will be repeating that tomorrow, of course, being on the show. And happy Passover, or Passover week. And happy Easter to each and every one of you. All right, so I think I covered all the bases. If I didn't cover all the bases, I'm pretty sure you'll let me know, right? I'm pretty sure you let me know. Okay, I've got all of the great movies that you guys like. You guys love those great movies? Turner Classic Movies are all here, right? Turner Classic Movies, we got them. And every week at this time, we bring you those because we want to add on to your weekend. A lot of you, you have weekends, you have your weekends coming up, and what you want to do, you want to make sure that you have a schedule going for however you want to spend your weekend. But we want to be an addition to your weekend. Not everybody doesn't go out on the weekends. And some people just like to say, oh, I want to stay home and watch the baseball game, or I want to stay home and watch the basketball game or the football game. I just want to sit back, relax, and stay home. Or, you go out to, like if the weather is going to be like it was here in New York today, that warm, and I'm pretty sure, depending on where you are, you get that kind of a warm weather. That's just like a natural kind of thing from wherever you may be, right? And you want to go out in the sunshine. But if you're going to stay home, you want to catch up on some old movies, right? You may have those inclement weather's coming by, some of the weather may be inclement. And you want to find a way to spend, if you're going to stay in the house, you want to find a way to spend it in entertainment style, right? So I want to be part of that by giving you all of these great movies, and I think you're going to enjoy it. They are classics. We're going to start off right now. We're going to start off with the Jackie Robinson story. The Jackie Robinson story from 1950, starring the man himself, Jackie Robinson. This is the real deal. The Jackie Robinson story. I know Ruby Dee is in that movie, and that comes on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that Friday. That's tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And that's, if you like baseball, you'll love that. This story. So it's a great story. It's a great story. It's a staple. 1950. Also, if you like baseball, we go from the Dodgers to the Yankees. Pride of the Yankees, 1942 with Gary Cooper and Teresa Wright. That's also on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that. But that comes on Saturday at 12 a.m. That's Friday night, Saturday morning. That's midnight, 12 a.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movie. Now, a lot of you may stay up that late to watch it. And if you don't want to stay up that late to watch it, DVR it, watch it at a later date. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be doing that. That's the Pride of the Yankees. We also have the Maltese Falcon, the Maltese Falcon. The Maltese Falcon, 1941 with Humphrey Bogart. Classic movie, Turner Classic Movies. That's also on Saturday in the afternoon at 3:15 p.m. Turner Classic Movies. The greatest story ever told. Now here's another class. This is a biblical. Now, being that Easter is coming on, I'm pretty sure you're going to somehow, even though I don't know where it is just yet, I'm pretty sure the 10 Commandments are going to be on. Now, the Easter holiday is not the Easter holiday without the 10 Commandments. Now, I didn't see it on Turner Classics, but I'm pretty sure on someone's channel, you're going to see that movie. But this one is called The Greatest Story Ever Told from 1965. Starring Max von Sydow and Charlton Heston. And Sidney Poitier is in that movie too. Here's the only movie that Sidney Poitier starred in. He didn't have a speaking part. But he was in there in a nice chunk of the movie. He was in it. 1965, The Greatest Story Ever Told. And since we are in the Easter holiday, there you go. The Easter Parade back in 1948 with Fred Astaire and Judy Garland. That's coming on Turner Classic Movie. By the way, Greatest Story Ever Told, that's Sunday at 6:30 a.m. Okay, I didn't mention that. The Greatest Story Ever Told at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. And if that's too early for you, you know what to do. DVR it, set your DVR for it. Again, okay, so we go back to Easter Parade. Back in 1948 with Fred Astaire and Judy Garland. I mentioned that, Turner Classic Movies. That's also on Sunday. That's Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. And so you will love that. We also have another biblical movie. I don't know why Turner Classic Movies doesn't have it. Maybe I missed it, but it just, I'm pretty sure they'll have it. It's just that it wasn't one of my picks. I didn't see it. Okay, anyway. This is called King of Kings. 1961 with Jeffrey Hunter, King of Kings. It's a long movie. Those biblical movies are long. But meaningful messages there in these movies. King of Kings, 1961 with Jeffrey Hunter. That's on Turner Classic Movie. You can check that out at 10 p.m. Eastern. And that's, again, on Turner Classic Movies. Those are my picks of the week. And those of you who desire, and I'm pretty sure you love those movies, and in conjunction with all of the ones I just told you about, you could also go to Turner Classic Movies and go and scroll through the program guide. There may be more movies that you like, but these were my picks. These were my exact picks. There are probably more that you would be interested in. You can check it out. It's right there. Go there and check it out and see for yourself. And of course, if you're a subscriber to cable, you already know that you can also go on Movie on Demand. Once you go on Movie on Demand, you have all of these movies from every era, and movies that you haven't seen in a long time, and movies that will jog your memory, classic movies, movies that are a little more current. They're right there. Also, you could have pay-per-view. You can do that. You don't want to go to the movie theater, they're right there. You missed it in the movies, they're right there. Also, if you're a sports person, for instance, I like wrestling. I say that time and time again. You guys know that for a fact, right? And whenever I watch a wrestling match, if I happen to miss one, for instance, depending on what network is on, I could always go back the following day and it'll be right there in full, minus the commercials in some cases. Sometimes they may have the commercials, but most of the time they don't have the commercials, and you can watch it right there. And again, you also have the other networks. You have the Lifetime Movie Network. You have CBS, NBC, all of the news stations. You have CNN and with their documentaries, and they turn out some good documentaries sometimes. You can check those out. A lot of things to be looked for your entertainment pleasure. And it's right there. All you have to do is just scroll right through it. It's right there for your pleasure. So again, I want to repeat all of these movies for you once again. It's Jackie Robinson's Story, starring Jackie Robinson, and that's on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movie. The Pride of the Yankees, Gary Cooper and Teresa Wright. That's Saturday on Turner Classic Movies. That's Friday night, Saturday morning, 12 a.m., 12 midnight. That's tomorrow. And you have the Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart, Turner Classic Movies, Saturday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. The Greatest Story Ever Told, a nice biblical movie from 1965 with Max von Sydow and Charlton Heston, and a little Sidney Poitier in there too, a taste of Sidney Poitier. And that's Sunday at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. The Easter Parade, a nice musical, Fred Astaire and Judy Garland, and that's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, also on Turner Classic Movies. And finally, you have King of Kings from 1961 with Jeffrey Hunter. That's on Turner Classic Movies as well. That's Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern. And it's all right there for you. So those are my picks of the week. And I hope that you do enjoy all of those movies. And I'm pretty sure you have plans. Now, although, you know, they call it the Easter holiday, but it's not a long weekend. You know, you're celebrating up to Sunday. And then, of course, you have to go back to work the following day. But we're in the midst, as I said, of Holy Week. So everyone is celebrating in their own little way. And as I mentioned all of the, we already had Palm Sunday last Sunday. And of course, Ramadan for Muslim faith, of course. And you have Good Friday, which is tomorrow, and Passover for Saturday. That starts the first day of Passover for Saturday, and Easter Sunday. And you remember the time a long time ago, you celebrate Easter and you had to go out in your very best. Do people, I don't know if people do that anymore. They buy, people, I remember growing up as a kid, as a young little kid, my mom used to buy me nice suits for Easter. Whenever it's Easter Sunday, I could depend on mom buying me a suit every year, at least once a year, a brand new suit. Because Easter Sunday was one of the days that you got out there, she got you out to church, and you looked good. And I got to tell you, my mom dressed me sharp. She dressed me sharp, and she was a sharp dresser herself. She always insists on family when we went out looking good, you know. And she used to do things like this, a little smuts on the face. She used to do that. She always wanted you to look good when you went out there. But anyway, Easter Sunday, people used to do that. I don't know if they do that anymore. People are not buying suits. Do people buy any suits anymore? Because now the big thing now is ripped jeans at the knees, right? You know, and but Easter Sunday, I could always look forward to a brand new suit for Easter. Not that I never got other suits, you know, but still, you know, there you go. Okay, I want to say hello. Who's that? CJB. You still look good. Who said that? Okay, you know, I'm not sure who CJ. Give me a name. Could you give me a name? Can I get a name? You know, can you type a name in so I can acknowledge you? Because you know, I'm watching this message coming on Instagram. Now Instagram, they have the code names. They don't, not like YouTube or Facebook, but they have the actual names that come up, and you could actually say the actual names. But all I'm seeing is the name, I guess the code name, or the it's not the real name, but say CJB 427. All right. Can you give me another name? Can you give me oh, okay. I see. Okay, there you go. Chris, how are you? How are you? Thanks. And thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us for Talk Back Live. And I want to thank all of you for joining us. And as I said, we're here each week between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. And so, you know, with all of the situations, keep in mind that all of the situations that are happening, especially in New York, I want to just keep your prayers open for all of us here and we're coming from New York, all of us here, right? Just keep your prayers, you know, keep your prayers going, because that subway thing, that was a disaster. Haven't seen anything like that before. It's time for me to go, but I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And okay, thank you, Chris. 10 a.m. And The coffee hour. Brian Camp will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports for his portion of the 2020 feature. I believe also DJ Pete. Haven't seen him in a long time. I think he's going to be here tomorrow as well for his portion, 20 to the hour, with entertainment news and reciting all those names and birthdays of the week. Other than that, we'll be back here next week at 8 p.m. from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern for more Talk Back Live. And I hope that you will be with us. We look forward to seeing you then. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale, technical assistance Dave Taylor, research by Sandy Pierce, and I'm your announcer Donna Stanky. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.